Okay, so this is play-based learning for coaching, placement and reflection, assignment 1 by Corey Spencer. First of all, we've got the national curriculum aims. So this is, first of all, to develop competence, to excel in a broad range of physical activities, be physically active for a sustained period of time, which is recommended by the government, engage in competitive sports and activities, and finally lead healthy and active lives that the children can progress throughout their lives. This takes us to the Key Stage 1 and 2 aims. So first of all, in Key Stage 1 is year 1 and 2, ages 5 to 7. This includes developing basic abilities to run, jump, throw and catch, develop tactics in team games, so this is offense and defense, so able to apply basic tactics in both areas. Come up with simple and basic movements to create a simple dance routine. And this is further progressed in Key Stage 2, which is year 3 and 6, ages 7 to 11. And this is applying basic principles and competitive sports games. So this is stuff like, for example, in basketball, applying rules such as traveling, double dribble. And this is progressing from Key Stage 1 with team games. So on offense, them rules will apply. And on defense, the rules will apply of like 24 seconds and stuff. Developing basic athletic abilities, so this is agility, balance, coordination, and this progresses from the basic movements that are shown in Key Stage 1. And then progressing from Key Stage 1 again is a wider range of movements to create a more advanced dance routine. And this is brought by Government UK Online. And this brings us to play-based learning. And this is learning skills through playful activities, and this can be done in multiple environments such as school, at home, inside, outside. It can be done on apparatus with minimal apparatus, so it can be done anywhere. Woodishaw 2017 and Crimean and Burnett 2018 add that play-based learning is important as it is an effective way of developing social skills, cognitive skills and educational skills. So social skills is important as it helps the children build relationships with each other. Cognitive skills helps them think for themselves. So for example, problem solving, it is in problem solving. So for example, if a child was playing with some blocks and they decided to build a tower and the tower fell over, they could then use their problem solving skills and understand why the tower fell over and come up with ideas on how to make the tower better. And educational skills can also be developed as, when counting. So for example, if you're playing a game that involves keeping score, it involves adding up the score. So this involves counting during play-based learning. So play-based learning has multiple building blocks here, so it's ensuring that play is meaningful. So this is basically meaning that the play, the activities must actually equate to something, so that they're not just playing around for the sake of it. So this is linking back to the previous slide where it's ensuring that they're socially learning, cognitively and educational. Play must be joyful and actively engaging. These two link directly together, as if it's not joyful and actively engaging, the children might become bored during the activity and switch off and not focus. So it's vital that the children remain focused throughout the activities so that they're actually getting what they need to get from the activities. Also, play must be iterative. So this means that they can't be static. So if they're static, this links to the previous point. So if they're static, they can become bored pretty quickly. So keeping the children moving, ruling out any possibilities of boredom is very crucial for play-based learning. Also ensuring that play is socially interactive is very important, as it helps build relationships with the children. So it helps with their relationship skills, social skills, communication skills. And this takes us on to the continuum of playful learning. And this shows how playful learning can occur. So first we've got free play, which is child-led. So this is where the child is basically let to do whatever they want, and then this is further progressed to guided play. So if the adult is scaffolding but the child is still leading the activity, so the child is still free to do what they want but they're supervised by the adult. We've then got games, so this is adult designed and scaffolded with set rules and constraints for the play, which still involves the children playing, and then direct instructions where the adult designs and controls the whole activity with no free engagement for the children. And this directly links to safe practice. So with direct instructions, games and guided play, it's already with safe practice as it's supervised by an adult. But during free play, when it's child-led, it's very vital that the practice is safe, so that even when there's no supervision by adults, the children aren't in any danger and they're safe throughout their activities. And this links to some barriers that teachers face. So we've got space and facilities. So, if a school lacks facilities, it basically hinders the amount of activities they can do. So for example, some schools don't have apparatus, climbing frames, and stuff like that, so they're not able to give children the opportunity to overcome obstacles such as climbing over an apparatus, getting high and then becoming low. Also with sports halls, some schools may not have enough sports halls to use for all the children to be able to have enough space to use. This isn't a problem in Whale Hill, as they have 2 sports halls and they are utilised appropriately as they switch between sports halls depending on the activity. And then we've got time limits, use of time. So time limits can massively hinder the amount of physical activity that children are exposed to, and use of time. So in Whale Hill, they have three groups and they switch between them. So they have sports hall and classroom, and switching between sports hall and classroom is massively affecting the amount of time that they have to actually engage in physical activity. So this holds the children back quite a bit. And then there's funding, such as low budget, low socio-economical areas. So in Whale Hill, it's kind of a low social economical area, so they have low access to things like taking part in events, after school clubs, specialised coaches. So this can hinder the children's progress and development in specific areas. So such like events, they don't have social interaction with other schools. Specialised coaches, they won't have special training in some sports. Sorry. And then we have COVID. This was a massive issue for children's development in their physical well-being and physical activity. As we see on this infographic, there was no PE, lack of development, and now in Whale Hill, they're no longer changing the PE kits. So this can be seen as a barrier, but it can also be seen as a positive because it means they don't have to waste time getting in PE kits, but it can also hinder the amount of activities they can do in their PE kits. There was no competing in sport and the entry point is behind. So this means that there was no competitive sport, so their abilities in sport aren't able to be progressed. And behaviour destructions, these are massively important, as behaviour and destructions can knock back lessons and massively influence the use of time. And finally, to conclude what has been said throughout this presentation, to overcome the barriers, schools such as Whale Hill utilise what they have, such as sports halls, kits, teachers, so they utilise the staff that they have in the school, and they're able to come up with activities that are able to actually hit the national curriculum aims. such as in the small after-school clubs. Play-based learning aids in hitting curriculum aims in a more engaging and fun way to ensure that the children don't get bored during physical activity, so it promotes physical activity in their life and they see it as a good thing. It develops the child cognitively and educationally, so it develops their mind and their academic skills, and ensuring that it's joyful, interactive, social and emotional, so they have an emotional and social understanding of each other is very important. And it also can lead to academic success in the way it aids them educationally. So with their maths and literacy skills can also be progressed during play-based learning.
Okay, thank you very much. Corey, keep holding the clicker, don't turn it off. Got questions running off. Let's go back to the beginning. Yeah, just put left. So, national curriculum aims.
Yeah.
Why do we have national curriculum aims?
I feel like the national curriculum aims are very crucial to the development of children. As when they're young, it's important to get them started in physical activity. So engaging in competitive sports and activities is a way that they can expose children to like things such as like losing, winning, the ideas of losing and winning. So when they're older, they're like exposed to stuff like that, as well as leading healthy and active lives. This can be like from when they're young, this can be progressed, and it's always in their mind from a young age.
Okay, so you've obviously stick with me there on this slide.
Yeah.
So you're currently in placement at Whale Hill Primary School.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that's your application for vocational practice. Whale Hill, obviously within the Middlesbrough area and socially deprived area. What about somewhere a bit further south in an affluent area? Loads of money, loads of opportunities. Do they have the same national curriculum aims in PE?
I'd say they have the same aims, but they're able to meet them in more efficient ways.
Okay, so I'll go back again. What's the purpose of national curriculum aims?
To develop their physical well-being activities and ensure that they're physically fit and active.
Yeah, the key thing there is you've got to think about it doesn't matter where in the country that you've got a primary school, and even when we've got a secondary school, there's a set of standards, isn't there? Is that what we need to follow and work towards? Go to your next slide for me. So you looked at Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2.
Yeah.
What's the big difference then between Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2?
So in Key Stage 1, everything is basic. It's like introducing new movements that they're not used to, so like running, jumping. It's teaching the fundamentals that they can use to progress them into the further stages. So team games, offense and defense. This is obviously progressed here. We're applying basic principles. So like in Key Stage 1, they will just be having fun, just attacking, defending. But in Key Stage 2, they introduce like an actual set of rules, and this can basically it tests their cognitive skills and their way to adapt to rules.
Okay, if you go to your barrier slide for me, play-based learning, you've gone through that.
Yeah.
You've mentioned A's, you looked at the building blocks, you looked at the continuum. You've mentioned 7 potential, obviously some of those can interlink there, you've mentioned 7 barriers there.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, which do you think is the biggest barrier that impacts working towards the national curriculum aims? So personally, so think about where you are currently at.
Behaviour. Honestly, behaviour is a really big one in Whale Hill. A lot of the time, behaviour links to time. So, as I said previously, behaviour directly links to use of time, time limits. So, if there's a lot of disruptions during a PE class, such as in Whale Hill, Miss Shanley is constantly having to like stop the class and ask the class what they're doing because they're constantly like misbehaving. So if they're misbehaving continuously, it's just gonna affect the amount of time that they have to actually be physically active. Because a lot of the time they're just left to be sat still because they're misbehaving. So
okay, final question. I'm going to home in on the funding.
yeah.
So you mentioned there about not much budget, socially deprived area. What strategies do Whale Hill have in place to overcome that barrier?
So in Whale Hill they have like small after school clubs. So like on the Tuesday, Mrs. Dole run like netball, and I'm not sure on Friday because that's filled, but I'm aware that there is another one on Friday. But it's like using the staff that they have and their skills that they already have as a person, you know. They'll run things that they're confident in. So I wouldn't say that they would bring in like a specialised coach to like coach basketball, coach football to students. They have staff already in place, like at the school.
Okay, so does What's a Racket not come in anymore? An external company?
No, it's just Mrs. Shanley. She just does PE classes.
Okay.
And she only runs the afternoon PE class and she's on Fridays, I believe.
Okay.
It's just like stuff like gymnastics. So.
Going back to the national cricket names for my last question, still into funding. So engaging competitive sports and activities there.
Yeah.
So Whale Hill is within the Red Crescent School Sports Red Crescent School Sport Partnership. Mouthful there, bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
How does that then link with that third national curriculum name?
Well, in their like after school clubs, you mean?
So in terms of the partnership, so going to events.
Partnerships.
Yeah, so Red Crescent School
going
Sport
to
Partnership.
events, so events-wise, competing in sports and activities is basically what a whole idea of the event is. So if an event brings like a few schools in, they're able to compete with each other, test their abilities. But if they don't have access to events due to their area funding and education, this can lead to like a lack of development in competitive sports. So it's pretty much it's very crucial that they are like having access to events.
Okay, thanks very much for your time, Corey. You can turn the record off.